Okay, welcome to today's class. So we are starting the second portion of consumer behavior by discussing some of the assumptions that are required in the consumer behavior. So first assumption is that we already know consumers are rational. So we already discussed in the introducing economics chapter that consumer is a type of a rational agent. So he will always, so if he is a rational agent, what he will do, he will try to get maximum out of his income. So how he can get maximum? He will try to buy the cheapest good, or he try to get the things which are most beneficial. So he will try to do two things. First, buy things which are most needed, and or and or means if both can be done, or at least one of them, or it is cheap. So he will try to make sure that he maximizes his gains by getting the things which are most needed first. Secondly, what he will do is he will try to get it if they are cheap. So, so this means this is the first objective. So he will do is that he knows that his income is limited. So he will try to do these two things so that his utility is maximum. Second, he knows his preferences. So means that if there are two options, option A and B, so he will know that if A is bigger than B, he will always select A. If B is bigger than A, then he will always select B. So he will be never be confused while selecting his options. So he will know what is good for him, and he will always try to select the best one. So this was the properties of a rational agent that we discussed in the introduction chapter. So secondly, he knows that his budget is constrained, means he has a limited income, and we also call it budget. So it is limited. So constraint means it is he is. What does constraint mean? Let me write it here. So put it a little bit down. So constraint means he is he is bound by his limited income. Otherwise, he would have bought more. But limited income. Otherwise, or we can write simply write. Otherwise, he would have spent more. If he had more income, he would have spent more. So he is bound by his income. So he has to make sure that he stays within his limit because he do not have extra income. So lastly, he has to pay prices. So products are not free. So it means we are not discussing those goods which are freely available in the economy. Like we in this consumer behavior, we will not talk about sunlight, which is free. We will not talk about air, which is free. So these are free goods. In this chapter, we will only focus on things which are not free. And why they are not free, we have already discussed in the chapter one that it is because of scarcity. So since products are scarce, and if we do not charge a price on it, what will happen? Consumer will buy more than they need, and most of the consumer who are deserving will not get. This was the outcome in the first chapter that we discussed in scarcity. That when the goods are scarce, we need to make sure that we set a price on it so that those people who do not need the item do not come to buy the product, so that we can manage our demand, and the customers who need the item can get it by paying the price. So you have to these are few assumptions that are required, and these are boundaries that are defined in our decision making. Okay, so let's discuss next topic. Next point. So next point talks about that. So if there is a price on the product, what does it represent? So let me rephrase it. So what does it mean is, what does a high price represent. So if you see the product is expensive, what is the reason behind this? First can be there are too many buyers for a product. There are too many buyers. Everyone wants to buy it, but the sellers are not that much. So that's why there is high demand, and which is making the product expensive. For example, in Ramadan, everyone is buying things for iftari, and so there are many buyers, and shops do not keep that much stock, so things become expensive. So there are many buyers, and it is seasonal because in some season the supply is short and people are there to buy, so there is high demand, so which makes things expensive. Okay, just like eggs in winter, so people likes to buy eggs or fish, but they tend to be short in the winter time period. So what happens that it becomes expensive. Next is rare products. So sometimes the item is too short, so it's very rare, so very few sellers. So item is not highly available, so it is rare. So because of that, it is expensive. So the customers are not that many, but sellers are too few. The item is very short. Okay, so it is because of that the product is expensive. Third can be reason is that the product can be very difficult to produce. So the cost of materials or cost of production is very high. So products are very expensive, even though they are easily available, even though sellers can manage it, but it's very difficult to produce, or it is the inputs are very expensive. For example, we already know there's one product called saffron, or we in Urdu we call it zafran. So it's a product which is available in the market, but it is very expensive to produce. That's why it is expensive in the market. So if you see the product being expensive, so there are few reasons that explain its high price. So in the previous diminishing marginal utility topic, in that topic we were assuming that we are eating only one type of food. Okay. So, but in real life, we do not eat one type. We eat in combinations like burger and fries, burger, fries, and drink. So it's not one item. It's more than one items. So that theory will not work if there is more than one item. So why that theory has restricted to one food? Because that the combination will affect each other. For example, if you are eating a spicy burger, then you might drink more water than when you are thirsty. So there's a cross effect. So that's why when you are studying DMU, you say there's only one type of food. That was in the previous session. So now we are saying is that if you are eating more than one item, we'll use a new method that is called law of equi-marginal utility. So this method is used when you have a combination more than one product. So what we'll do, let's move on to that point and let's see what is the way to solve that. So first of all, we will define it. So it is defined as when you're consuming more than one product, means as a set. So you are buying more than one product or consuming more than one product to maximize satisfaction, means that is your objective to maximize happiness. The consumer should allocate his or her income. So it means he should divide his income so that his resources available. So let me should allocate his income. We call it available resource. Okay, so that the last dollar spent on each item Last dollar spent means when you are picking the last of the unit. So if you are buying 2 units, so the second one is the last. So how much you spent on that should give same marginal utility. Yield means give, means same marginal utility. It means the MU of the last item of A should be equal to the MU of the last item of B should be equal. What will happen if they are equal? It will mean that given your income, which is 10 rupees or 20 rupees or 100 rupees that you have spent, income, your utility is maximum. This way you can maximize the utility of the product. Okay, so this is the goal that this is the topic that we discussed, and this is the definition. So I will go towards solving this as a numerical. So please follow with me, and hopefully you will understand with the animations, and you can follow up this video again if you have any query, and then you can solve it yourself. Okay, so let me move to the next slide. So what do we need to know before we decide to decide the quantity to buy? Okay, so we need to know is, so the last, from the last definition, we need to make sure that the last dollar spent on each product means should yield same amount of marginal utility. Okay, it should yield. So what should we need for that? First of all, we need to know that how much income we are going to spend. So that is our constraint, that is our boundary. Then we should know what are the prices of the goods, because from that we can calculate how much we can get. Third is how much happiness we will get from each item. So we should have a table of utilities, because it is cardinal utility, cardinal approach. So the table of utilities will be given. So we'll start with that. We will see what information we will have in this numerical. So in this numerical, we will have following things. First, we will know how many items you need to buy. So there are two products, so there are A and B. And the prices will be given. So price of A is 1 rupee, price of B is 2 rupees. Then we will have total budget, that is 10 rupees. It will be given. Then there will be a table given for marginal utilities. In the previous activity, we already discussed how does we calculate these. If we have marginal, how to calculate total. If we have total, how to calculate marginal. So here I will give you definition, meaning of one item, so that you can understand how to read. So what does this 16 means? So let me write its interpretation here clearly, so that so you know the meaning of each number. Here 16, here if the consumer buys 4 items of B, if he buys 4 B units, then he will get 16 utils of utility from the fourth item only. Fourth item. So it means that 16 means that if you buy 4 of product B, you will get 16 from the fourth item. So let's do one more. So what does this? Let me take a pen. So what does this 4 means? So let me take a pen and let's take a blue color. So if the consumer buys 6 units of product A, he will get 4 utils. Utils is the unit of happiness. Utils of utility from the 6th item. This is the definition of or meaning of each number. Okay, so hopefully it is clear now. So let's start working on the numerical. Hopefully numbers are clear so that you can understand how numerical is working. So let me move it point. Yes. So for that we need screen share. So here for the numerical to start, you will need to calculate mu divided by p. Mu divided by p is, it means the utility, marginal utility per price. So you need to calculate mu over p here and mu over p here. So this way you can calculate the marginal utilities. You have to calculate marginal utility per price. Why? Because the prices are not same. If the prices are same, you don't need to calculate. So if both prices are equal to 1, you don't need to calculate mu divided by p. So we already know the price of A is 1. So mu A and mu divided by p will be same. And the prices of B is 2. So it will be half. So let's see how it works. So it will show us a new table. So after calculation, you can see it here is that mu over p is now for A same because the price was 1 and it is half. So I will give you interpretation of this number so that you can clear what does this 10 means now. So I will write it the interpretation here, and so for the new students they will understand its definition. So if the consumer buys 2 units of product B, he will get so he have to spend 4 rupees as price, as the price is 2 for each. So he will get 10 utils of utility from the 1 rupee he spent from the second item. So from the second item he will get 20 utils as total, but for 1 rupee he will get 10 utils, so it will be half. So this is the meaning of that number. So why we did it? Because so that we can compare 1 rupee with 1 rupee. So this column is also in 1 rupee terms, this column is also in 1 rupee terms. So this will help us to compare each other. Now what we have to do is, so he has 10 rupees available. So let's call it 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 3 rupees, 4 rupees, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So he has 10 rupees with him. Now he has to decide how to spend these. Okay, so first of all, he has to decide which one to buy. So when you compare the first rupee, so he will, if he spend it on A, he will get 10. If he spend it on B, he will get 12. So logically, he will put the product B in his trolley. And when he puts the product B in his trolley, he will spend 2 rupees because its price is 2 rupees and remaining 8 rupees left. So let's circle it up. So when he buys the product B, he will have to spend 2 rupees. I will put B here, and he will buy two. He will spend 2 rupees because he's getting 12, and since it is 2 rupees, so he will getting 24. But if he spends 2 rupees on product A, he will get 10 plus 8, 18. So 24 is more than 18. That's why he will buy product B first. So B is giving him more benefit. What will happen next? So he will put that product in his trolley. So this product is selected. It is placed in his trolley. So let's rub the mark from here. And then now what he will do is, now he will have to spend the next rupee. So he will compare this 10 with this 10. Why this 10? Because this is already purchased. it is in his shopping trolley. So he'll compare this one with this one. So since they are equal, logically what he will do is, there are two reasons he will select A, because A is cheaper, plus it will create a variety. So he will buy A. So he will spend 1 rupee on the A. He will put that product in his trolley. Okay. So what will happen? So in his trolley, this product is selected. Okay. So he has spent 3 rupees, and he's got product one of unit of product A, 1 unit of product B. So now 7 rupees left. What he will do? Now he will compare this 10 with this 8. So now 10 is bigger than 8. So he will buy this unit. So he will spend 2 rupees, and he will spend on 4 and 5th rupee on product B, because 10 is bigger than 8. So what will happen? Let's see. So he will spend it on B because this number is higher, and he will put it in his trolley. So 5 rupees left. Okay. So let's set up this line. Now he has 5 rupees left. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are 5 rupees left. Now he will compare 8 with 9. So since 9 is bigger, so what he will do is, he will spend it on B. So let's see how we can write it. So he will spend it on B because MU over P for B is bigger than MU over P for A. So 2 rupees are spent. Let's see. So 3 rupees left. So let me make a circle here. So he has spent 6 and 7 rupees on B. Okay. So he's put it in a trolley. Let me erase this number. And now he's comparing 8 with 8. So where he will go? He will go for product A because it is cheap. And secondly, he needs a variety. So he has too many of B, he only have one of A. So he will select 8. So let's see how we can write it. So he will select it on A because it's consumer choice, because it is cheaper. So he will put it in his trolley. And let me rub it up. So he will put that in his trolley. So let's circle as A. Now he has 2 rupees left. So he is comparing 7 with 8. So 8 is bigger. What will happen? He will spend it on B because it is bigger for B than A. So he has spent all of his income. So let me circle it up here. This is B. So what has happened? Let me show you how the trolley will be made. So what has happened? He has completed, spent all the 10 rupees. Now note what is happened. So the method that we have used is, we end up with spending, when we finished our spending, so the last rupee spent on A and the last rupee spent on B has the same answer. So the MU of A is equal to MU of B. So this is the way to achieve this outcome. So let me save this diagram and clear. So what will happen if we do this? So the outcome is that we have purchased 2 units of A and 4 units of B. So this is our outcome. So let's calculate how much utility we will get. So if you get 2 units of A, the utility is 10 plus 8, it is 18. And from B, how much we will get? 24 plus 20 plus 18 plus 16. Okay, so let's see. Here we can note that we consume 4 units of B and 2 units of A, which makes total utility is equal to total utility from A plus total utility from B. So from A we are getting so from A we are getting 18, 10 plus 8, and from B we are getting 24 plus 20 plus 18 plus 16. Why these numbers? Because we are actually spending 2 each when we were calculating this. So we will not add this line, we'll add this line. So this is important. So total answer is 96. So the method that we used, where the marginal utility from A is equal to marginal utility from B, we end up getting 96 units. The advantage of this method is that if you this is number is highest possible. So as an activity, you try any other combination. Let's see. Let me clear it up and let's work on any other combination. So the screen. So what I will do is, rather than spending in this method, I will spend. So I have 10 rupees. What I will do is I will buy 3 of this and I will buy 6 of this. 6 of this. So 6 rupees plus I will buy 3 of these. It is 6 rupees, and I will buy 4 of these. So this is my combination that I am trying to calculate. So what will be the utility? So it is 10 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 24 plus 20 plus 18. So if you solve it, so it is 40, 44 plus 18, that is 54 plus 8, that is 60, 62, and 62 and 72 plus 8, and that is 80, 80 plus 11. So what is 91? So what has happened is that if you use any other combination, the answer is smaller. So the advantage of this theory is that if you solve it like this, the way that I've shown is, if you solve it like this and you make sure that the last numbers have same answer, what will happen that the answer that you will get is highest possible. Okay, so note that the last units of A and B are getting 8 units of marginal utility as per definition. So this is law of equi-marginal utility. So this theory says us that if you are spending on more than one product, and if you use the method that we discussed here, so you will end up the highest possible happiness that you may get from the limited income that you have. So given the income, and if you follow this idea, you have the highest answer. So this was the law of equi-marginal utility. Hopefully you will understood this idea.